Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here. And I'm Mighty the Armadillo here. Welcome you all back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos as to be expected. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Game Boy Advance. So, last time we have basically accomplished the forms of the rest of World 7. And thankfully, unlike the Super Nintendo version, that at the very least we did manage to show off the second Piranha Plant obstacle course stage, because obviously unlike the Super Nintendo version that I accidentally managed able to skip over that particular level at one hand. So yeah, at the very least though, that's been sorted in this version this time around. So today, for this video, is about the fact that we're going to be continuing things on throughout the game and hit on to the forms of the final world in the main game in Super Mario Bros. 3, at least specifically in Super Mario Advance 4 anyway. That's what appears to be World 8, so yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to take on the forms of a tank level. So yeah, to be expected at this point, this world might actually feel to be extremely difficult, but since that we've already experienced this world for about twice so far during the course of this entire Super Mario Bros. 3 selections of Let's Plays in the past from the likes of the NES and the Super Nintendo, so this is our third time experiencing World 8 in Super Mario Bros. 3, and straight to the point that I seemed able to just keep on getting hit a lot. So that's to be expected, and thankfully though, the actual flashing images, it seems to be a little bit more dimmed this time around in this version, so thankfully you don't have to worry about the forms of the photo sensitivity that's been going on. So at the very least though, that might be short something. So anyway, so I need to grab this mushroom, so just in case I can able to just, you know, try my best to able to avoid as many of those obstacles as far as I possibly can. However, there's one little difference for this particular world. Well, actually, kind of thinking about it, there's actually two different things that just happened during the course of this version of this particular world, as opposed to the forms of how it does on the NES version or the Super Nintendo version, and then you probably know why until whenever we continue proceeding for this world. So anyways, take that, Burrowing Bro, you deserve to die. So anyways, let's see what item I got. I got myself a Starman, so how about that? Anyway, so now it's my turn for me to take on, oh, and every time you know, beating one of those levels, you do able to get yourselves a save system. So yeah, just like the forms of how it does it for every tower levels, including every single like airship fortress levels basically. So we've already pointed things out ever since the past few parts ago, so either way though, things will be a little bit more relative at that point. So, and of course about the fact that if you think we're basically about to be approaching towards the very end of this playthrough basically, well, it turns out that we're not exactly completely done with this yet, because I'm pretty sure that aside from the fact that we're still going to be experiencing World 8, but there's also technically the special world that we can able to actually be really looking forward to able to trying out. That's of course World E, which I think we'll probably discuss more about it specifically until Wednesday. So because of this though, today's day is of course the 13th of November today, in this case in 2023 today, and suffice to tell you for this point guys, is that I can assure to you from the likes of the UK release of SpongeBob SquarePants Truthful Square, the video game, that game has been out for 14 years now. I mean, jeez Louise, what did all time go? I know, right? Especially despite we still haven't got the game yet on the Xbox 360 version or the Wii version for that matter. Well, mind you, we basically done purchasing tons of Wii games at this point. Well, I don't know about you, because it has been about quite a few days since we actually last played this, since Junior Forms have been on Friday, basically. So either way, now I need to take on Boom Boom again, and he's just as pathetic as ever, just like the past worlds. So, and that basically does it for the first section in World 8. So, yeah, it looks like we're not doing too bad, just for starters. And of course, since that we've beaten two of those levels, we can now able to proceed. So, anyway, so now it's my turn to take on the next couple of levels up ahead, including the hardest level in the entire game, as you probably already know, on the NES version and the Super Nintendo version. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, so we did actually see Peach for a moment, but it turns out about the fact that she somehow screamed. So because of this though, yeah, it feels like about the fact that that was actually one of those new additions in this version, so not exactly sure why that's there, but I'm guessing it's because one of the voice clips was actually included on here, so I guess that's that. So anyways, but we still need to able to go through 3 series of obstacle challenges here and there. Like for instance, I've somehow managed to succeed this particular challenge that involves around not only so many Hammer Bros, but also with the forms of Sledge Bros as well. So because of this though, not much else to write to home about for the sake of time. Anyway, so now it's my turn now, and I somehow managed to able to use the mushroom for some reason. Even though I was expecting if I was going to able to use the P-Wing until when I managed to able to go for this obstacles first. Yeah, because if you think you somehow managed to able to avoid that a lot of, you know, traps and what have you, then you know what I'm saying. And you somehow managed to did this no problem. Yep, exactly for surely, because, well, as I mentioned this before since in the last video, I've somehow basically dominated for the majority of this version now. Yeah, because unlike the forms of how it does in the past 2 versions, the NES version and the Super Nintendo version, that I somehow managed to dominate it throughout the majority of those 2 versions of the game. But it seems it's now completely opposite, you know? So now it's my turn to take on this particular level. It's filled to the brim with cheeps and all that stuff. And of course, keep that in mind, we definitely need to avoid a lot of lava, because obviously, one hit kill if you do manage to dare touch the lava, so... And then straight to the point for the sake of time, I'm actually really looking forward to see what's going to be happening at some point in this Wednesday, because, well, after we finish up with everything in terms of World 8, I was, you know, really looking forward to see what the next special world is going to bring us into. But then again though, we'll have to wait and find out until, as you mentioned this before, this upcoming Wednesday, specifically the 15th of November. Yeah, I know that. So it looks like you're about to be using a P-Wing in one of the hardest levels in the game, just because of all that fast scrolling, and on top of that, not much, thin, or to be more specifically, bigger platforms to navigate or somewhat. So, and there's also short things worth noting for. I apologize for that particular commentary, it's a bit awkward at times, but that's just because about the fact there's another reason why, that this particular part might take a bit while to able to upload, is most notably because we once again come across into technical issues with all that, you know, a lot of edits to do, and on top of that about the fact that we come across into a lot of lag again, so... Oh jeez, that was definitely a close call. Yeah, because if you accidentally fell off, then you have to do the entire level all over again. Yeah, and also not to mention though, I'm also able to waste one of my P-Wings for that matter. But at least you did manage able to accomplish the level though, by taking down Boom Boom again. And I think we're also able to come across into Boom Boom again, until whenever we get to the tank level. Yeah, that'll be the last time we'll be seeing him in the normal run-through. Well, to be more specifically, in the Super Mario Bros. 3 game itself, on the normal main, you know, adventure. But it wasn't until we will come across into him again, until whenever we get to World E, which is the most exciting part. So, anyway, so now it's my turn to take on the level 1 right here. So, I would highly doubt I'm also able to actually just trying to do the level as normal, so... And I wasn't expecting for that particular pushy block that is almost going to shove me off onto the actual bottomless pit down below. But hey, at least on the upside though is about the fact that I did somehow... Oh jeez, that was close. Even though it's kind of unfortunate enough that I don't seem able to have myself my, you know, high jump or anything else like that. So, but then again, though, we will... Ah, darn it, I just got cornered by those groups of bullet bills. Ah, that was a bit of embarrassment. Well, meanwhile for me, I'm going to be able to do that level, so... I believe something tells me you will come across into something a bit more secrecy, aren't you? Well, yes, because you already come across into that. Actually, kind of thinking about it, we come across into that quite a few times, you know? So, yeah, it feels like you're about to able to skip the majority of the level, and I've no idea why the screen somehow scrolls a little bit, but But either way, yep, you somehow managed able to got not only 1 life, but also 3 lives thanks to that particular question mark block that you come across into. Yep, so I'm now at 53 lives, so super top notch for my awesome lives count. But of course, you still need to able to go for a large groups of bullet bills right there. Oh, you lucky armadillo that you did somehow manage to able to survive for this. Yeah, thanks to the forms of that particular invincibility frames as far as I did somehow manage to utilize. And somehow, I've only got myself another extra life, which now leads me up to 54. Yeah, it seems that you've almost gotten very close to 60 lives as far as, you know, for this particular run through is concerned. But it wasn't until whenever we get to the forms of World E, on the other hand, that something might able to actually establish that, because I think we're most able to come across into ourselves just only 5 lives for starters. So, but either way though, now I need to able to utilize not only my Super Leaf ability, or the Super Leaf power-up, but also with the forms of the Starman as well, so that I can able to skip, you know, the beginning portion no problem, even though I do need to able to dodge. Ah, darn it, that stupid Piranha Plant with all that fireball projectile to somehow screw me up. But anyway, let's just go ahead and... Oh, jeez, that was close. Ah, the angry sun! Ah, okay, whatever. I'll take a hit anyway, because otherwise, thanks to the invincibility frames, did somehow help me. And that basically does it for the regular platforming levels with all the panel cards as far as this is concerned. So now it's my turn to take on the only tower level in this entire world, and I'm thinking I'm also able to use my Super Leaf for the better. Well, best of luck for this part, because otherwise, though, you have to worry about the screen crunch, you know? Well, actually, gonna think about it, though, about the fact that we've already... Oh, shoot. Those stupid roto-discs that somehow screw me up. So, yeah, we're really hoping about that time until likely on any other, like, Wednesdays and Fridays and Mondays, essentially, that we won't be able to come across into that stupid lag again, because... it's actually getting a little bit annoying at times, and you somehow screwed up. Yeah, because of all that very, very wonky conveyor belts as far as, you know, obstacles are concerned. Oh well, no big deal, but at least I still got loads of lives with me still. Yeah, and I'm also able to do this level anyway, so I can probably guaranteed able to accomplish that. Well, for the sake of time, about the fact that, again, it's been you know, quite a few days since we actually last played this, because again, with all these technical difficulties we've been having for quite a few days, roughly. So, either way, though, let's just get in here, and yeah, I'm also able to just try to dodge a lot of those plotterboos or fireballs, whatever to be more specific, and hey, fun. Oh boy, it's where it gets a bit tricky, so let's jump for it, and there we go. Alright, so I was gonna able to get a Starman, and it's a good thing I somehow got myself my Super Leaf with me, because otherwise, without it, we'll have to able to navigate for the trickiest method to, you know, complete this level. Alright, so let's make our way through here, jump over for that flump over there, activate the P-switch, and go all the way to the right, and that way, it allows me to complete... Oh, hello. Is that supposed to be a little bit wider compared to the forms of how it does it on the NES version and the Super Nintendo version? Interesting. Anyway, time to take on Boom Boom, so either way. And I think you forgot to mention about the forms of that Boom Boom encounter in this tower level. Oh right, because I keep thinking about the forms of the halfway point of the world. Well, usually relatively speaking for this point, Mighty, is about the fact that this is by far the shortest world in the game, and it's also one of the, oh hello. We did somehow come across into that pipe from the right that we can now able to actually access to. But obviously it takes us back to the beginning of the world, so I don't feel like we can able to go there, so... Anyway, so now it's time for me to take on the tank level. In this case, the final tank level for the main Super Mario Bros. 3 game. So, yeah, we're now approaching towards Bowser's Castle itself. Well, at least for me anyway so far, right? Because don't forget, I'm Mario, of course. But it wasn't until whenever we get to World E, though, that we might actually switch things up a bit, so... Oh, Okay then, that makes a fair deal as far as playable characters are concerned. Yeah, I know that. Alright, so I was gonna have to able to just be very careful around here and make sure I don't get hit so many times by those. Ah, there goes my super leaf with my raccoon suit. Ah, oh well. Beggars else can be choosers, I guess, with all that. You know what I mean, those, rocky wrenches to somehow pop out of nowhere once in a while. Alright, just gonna have to able to be very careful around here. I gotta say, we're actually doing pretty well so far in World 8, despite the fact that we come across into those, deaths, in certain scenarios. Like, I think I did somehow died during the forms of in level 1 because of all that, surrounded by bullet bills, and then you, Mighty, did somehow died on a tower level because of that very wonky conveyor belt. So, but either way, you did somehow accomplish the tank level, and, well, obviously this is not the final time we'll be seeing Boom Boom in this game, because as I mentioned this before, the next special world is going to be up in the horizon, until this coming Wednesday, so I would have liked able to mention about more stuff related to like news, updates, or anything else like that, but I think we should probably save that conversation once we get to World E coming up. So anyway, so it's time for me to take on the final level in a regular Super Mario Bros. 3 game, and once again I'm going to be equipping not only the hammer suit, but also with the Starman as well, but this time I'm playing as Luigi this time. And something tells me I somehow screwed it up, so, but that's okay, because that platform right there respawns if you somehow managed able to walk all the way to the left right there. So, either way, time to take on these little, you know, these very weird enemies. Oh, jeez, I completely forgot about those rotor discs. Oh no, there goes my Hammer Bros suit. Oh, that sucks. But hey, at least I got my extra life though, still. Oh, jeez. Ah! Ah, dang it! I got hit by the exact same Plottaboo or the fireball. Ah, jeez, Louise. Well, I guess there's nothing towards it for me to able to save Princess Peach after all. Oh, so you're gonna do the same, huh? Well, yeah, because I'm gonna show you the proof of it. Okay. Okay, bro. Okay. Make your point. So I believe that will be my turn to able to save Princess Peach, I'm assuming so anyway. Well, assuming of course if you know exactly what to do here. Because after all, you haven't exactly saved Princess Peach in the NES version and the Super Nintendo version, so maybe this might be your opportunity to able to actually save the day for reals, so I don't know about you, but I shall see. Alright, so let me get rid of those, Plottaboo's or fireballs, whatever you want to call these things. And make sure you have to be, like, so precise with these, donut platforms, which we've already come across into that in the past few worlds, so. Okay, looks like you're not doing too bad. Oh jeez, I forgot about this breathing fireball from, I'm guessing, Bowser. Yep. As to be expected. Alright, time to take on the final boss in Super Mario Bros. 3 again, except this time on the Game Boy Advance. So, and straight to the point about, oh, there goes my Hammer Bros. Suit! Okay, fine, I'll just have to do this the normal way, so that's perfectly fine by me either way. So of course, about the fact that if you do somehow manage to utilize the Hammer Bros. Suit, you can obviously manage to able to KO Bowser very easily, assuming if you get yourselves your good, careful timing with your hammer shots and stuff like that, or hammer throws. So, unfortunately though, you didn't get the chance to able to KO him very easily with that particular, you know, the Hammer Bros. Suit, so. Oh well, no big deal though, because, you know, besides, I got like, you know, 54 lives. I was expecting for 55, but, unfortunately though, because I somehow died on a tower level, as you already know. But, yeah, I guess that's what I can really say about the for this point, guys, because, well, again, I would like to able to mention something else entirely, but I think we're able to actually save that conversation once we get to the next world in the game, which is World E. So, I'm sure that most people are really looking forward to this as well, especially concerning about the fact that for those of you who ever missed out on the Wii U days, you know, with the Virtual Console re-release version of this game, that basically if you ever missed out on this, well, you're still able to actually access to World E nowadays thanks to the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack after all. And something tells me that jingle sounds a little bit different this time. Yeah, which I'm not exactly sure how that seems to be the case, but hey, at least you saved the day for reals this time, Mighty, so yeah, it looks like you've managed to rescue Princess Peach in the Game Boy Advance version. And I can assure you, the dialogue in this version with Princess Peach in mind is actually a lot different compared to the forms of how it does it on not only on the NES version, but also on the Super Nintendo version as well. But still, you know, it's pretty much the same old deal, except the fact that, well, she doesn't go and say, like, the princess is just another castle joke or anything else like that. So, and there we go, folks, that basically does it for the main Super Mario Bros. 3 game, but this time on the Game Boy Advance, and now and then, that this death credit sequence actually goes by a lot longer compared to the forms of how it does it on the NES version and the Super Nintendo version. So obviously you will still able to come across into those world names here and there. However, certain world names are now slightly altered slightly, so because of this though, that's actually an interesting change when it comes to the forms of certain worlds is also known as. So, but of course we're not exactly done with this yet though, aside from World E that we're about to be really looking forward to at some point in this Wednesday. After we completely done with everything in terms of the forms of Super Mario Bros. 3, like, you know, for the Game Boy Advance version anyway, that we'll promise you guys we will show you off the forms of the warp zones this time, because, well, aside from the fact that unlike the NES version or the Super Nintendo version of Super Mario Bros. 3, that obviously it takes you to certain worlds in the future, so either way though, that might be saying something, so either way though, we were originally gonna able to give you guys, excuse me, our final thoughts of this particular version of the game, but of course it's not exactly over yet, like I said before. So it might actually took a bit of while to able to actually finish this, aside from the fact that, well, relatively speaking though, about the fact, I will say this right now, this is actually without a doubt one of the awesome version of Super Mario Bros. 3 in my opinion, especially with all that, you know, gem-packed full of content you might able to come across into, especially if you guys ever owned the Wii U Virtual Console re-release, or if you managed able to have the old Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack nowadays, then this is without doubt one of the greatest version ever, because, well, despite the fact that you have to deal with the forms of screen crunch, as you probably already know, so, but either way, that's as far as I can talk about it for right now anyway, but of course I will talk about the rest of it once we're completely done with the forms of World E, basically, so, yeah, I guess that's all I could really, that's what Ray was trying to say for this point. But again, we really do apologize for our commentary gets a bit bare bones at times for today, because obviously there's not much else I can speak about it. So, either way, perfect clear for the sake of the forms of World 8, but as you can see, once we're able to get back to the game itself, we can now able to actually access to revisiting to any world at your leisure. Like for instance, we can either go back to World 1 at any time, or World 6 if you decide to go up for the challenge, or any other worlds out there. So yeah, that's actually a pretty cool feature to add it in for the sake of this version of the game. And also you do realize is that the actual colors of the levels is now in yellow as opposed to blue. So meaning about the fact that you can able to replay the amount of levels you want to go for at any time, including the tower levels, in addition to the forms of enemy courses this time around. In addition to that, you could also decide to able to replay through the airship fortress levels as well. But here's the catch of this though, is that if you ever managed able to get into World 8, earlier on throughout the whole thing, because obviously that's when the warp zones comes into play. And basically though, we will show you guys where the 3 of those warp whistle locations are going to be at. So for instance, the level we're going to be hitting to right now is of course the first world in level 3, and basically though is about the fact that as soon as you come across into that particular white block, all the way to the very end of the level, where basically though is about the fact that you have to crouch at for about a few seconds notice, and basically though that is essentially you find the first warp whistle. And the second one is going to be on the tower level, also in World 1. And I believe the third and final one is going to be located in World 2. So because of this though, relatively speaking though about the fact that if you do manage to able to use 2 of those warp whistles, then obviously that will be your perfect opportunity for you to able to actually get into World 8 instantly. However though, if you do manage to complete World 8, before you get into the forms of World 2 and onwards, basically you come across into that secret cutscene that basically features one of those Koopalings actually dives into one of those castles, and then basically though is that it's kind of like the identical cutscene as you saw in the intro cutscene of the game, except the biggest difference is that the music is slightly different. And on top of that, if you come across into that particular exclamation mark thing on the forms of the castle itself, basically though, that is when they shown us the forms of that particular secret cutscene. So either way, something worth noting for, especially concerning about the fact that, well, I'm sure there is a video out here somewhere though, especially if you ever want to see that's going to be happening. Well, I suppose we're also able to actually put on a link in the description below if you really want to see that secret cutscene for yourself. So, but either way though, so as you can tell, in order to able to actually find the second warp whistle, and basically all you have to do is basically you have to become Raccoon Suit, or Raccoon Mario, or Raccoon Luigi. Basically you have to fly all the way up to the ceiling, almost nearly at the end of the first section of that particular tower level. Now you'll basically be all set when it comes to able to automatically warp onto the 8th world at your leisure for your speedrun tactics and stuff like that. So, but it's also worth noting for about the fact that every time when you defeat certain enemies in a world map, like Hammer Bros or Boomerang Bros, and even especially noticeable with the flower obstacle courses as well, thankfully those things are, you know, no longer disappeared every time if you do manage to beat one of those things itself, I guess. So, yeah, that's essentially one of those, things about the fact that you can able to replay those levels at any point and any time. So, and as you probably already know about the fact that since that, I'm going to be able to take on the forms of that particular, well, the Airship Fortress level again, but this time I'm actually going to be showing to you guys something a bit differently. That is about the fact that what really happens if you do manage to die in any of those Airship Fortress levels. Basically though, what happens was that the Airship Fortress is going to move into some different location elsewhere. So because of that, oh yeah, I just realized about the fact that, well, since that Mighty has now got 2 warp whistles, so he was able to use it as soon as I die right there, which I already did. And that's what happens right there. The Airship Fortress just somehow got away, and whoever makes it there, then obviously they'll be back on track. So, but either way, looks like he's going to be now using the warp whistles now. So either way though, take it away, Mighty. And by the way, with that particular warp whistle sound right there, that's actually ripped right out the forms of the first Legend of Zelda game, when if you're trying to learn the flute instrument, when if you're trying to take down one of those bosses in that game. Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool Easter egg between both Mario and Zelda things combined. But as far as I mentioned this earlier, if you use the second warp whistle right here, and basically that allows you to able to get into World 8 instantly. So, World 9, Warp Zone. So, I will say though, the visual effects do look very, very cool looking. So, but either way though, I guess that's that. So, but again, we're not exactly done yet though, because it looks like we're about to be heading back to World 2, because I'm pretty sure that if someone managed able to have ourselves the special item, which appears to be the hammer, and basically though, we can able to actually go ahead and I guess that's about it basically. So yeah, basically if you do have the hammer with you in your item inventory, basically if you come across into the very end of World 2, and by the way, that sand level right there is actually in a different color, and same applies to the forms of that pyramid sprite as well. So, for instance, Mighty's going to be using his last hammer item. That way, he can able to actually access to a secret area in the forms of World 2, which not only features that particular Toad House right there, but also with that particular very rare Fire Bro, which that was the only time you will come across into a Fire Bro in one of those specific situations. So, in some cases though, it looks like Mighty did somehow got the frog suit after all. And guess what? He needs to fight 2 of these Fire Bros onto that particular enemy course, and that way once you defeat those 2 of those Fire Bros, you get yourselves the 3rd and final Warp Whistle. So, that's basically all there is to it, basically. So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's all the extras of how this game offers us to, at least specifically in Super Mario Bros. 3 Adventure. So with that being said though, we got to endings of this point right here, so join us next time for more Let's Play of Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, and that is about the fact that we're about to get started with the most exciting world in the game. That's what appears to be World E, so I'm very excited about this. Yeah, same here. So we'll see you guys until on Wednesday.